I'm here with fashion designer Rebecca Minkoff. How are you?
Pretty good, a little tired.
A little tired.
Stayed out a little too late last night.
Yeah. So, a lot of people, especially women, want to move to New York City and break into the fashion business, but not everyone is successful, especially not at your level.
Yeah.
What do you think made you different?
Persistence, hard work. I think in today's age of Uber and Amazon, people think that they can just click their way to success, but you can't. This is the one thing I think that's still left in the world. You actually have to put your head down and work your ass off.
And you've mentioned that there's no real work-life balance, and I agree.
Yeah.
So what can people do to make room for their personal life, especially now, you're a mom. How do you make time?
I think it's about setting very strong boundaries, and you have to be the discipliner of yourself, so does the world end if I don't check my email at night? No. On the weekends, if I don't check my email, if something's really that urgent, they can text me. I'm not curing cancer. I'm selling handbags. So I think as I've had 1, 2, now 3 children, it's just been important to me to start setting those boundaries. And I think it's fair for people that don't have kids to set those boundaries too. I've had plenty of staff, say, hey, I don't want to be talked to on the weekends or nights unless it's urgent. And I think that's what we all need to start doing, because you'll just be fried.
What were some of the wins early in your career that gave you the confidence to continue to pursue that path?
There was a daily email back when email was still new. I'm dating myself, and no social media that told you the newest, hottest, latest. It was called Daily Candy. And they wrote about the bag. It immediately sold out. The store restocked it, sold out again. And that really put me on the map.
Who are some of your mentors in the industry that have had a real positive effect on you?
I am not a fan of the word mentor, because I think that people attach this idea that they're going to have someone who's going to hand them success on a platter. I think I've had women that have taught me to work hard. The first CEO of the company, she taught me to work incredibly hard, but she didn't teach me anything other than, if you want something, you got to figure it out. And then, the first salesperson for the bags, really challenged me, but she wasn't teaching me anything. She just made me look deep inside myself and figure stuff out. So I think you can find those people all around. You don't have to reach to the CEO of a company and be like, if she's not my mentor, then I'll never be successful. I always say, mentorship is next to you, it's below you. It's meeting someone who knows something that you don't know.
And you work with your brother, and that can be pretty challenging, so you do corporate couples therapy.
Yes.
So can you explain what that entails and how it's impacted the relationship and business?
Yeah, listen, when you have a co-founder, you're with them more hours than you are with your spouse, your kids, and add the dynamic of brother and sister. So I think it was important for us to have one person who's our guy that we go to, we get out all of our frustrations, and we really talk it through. We have someone to sort of keep us in line and not have it be like an explosion, and then really set new goals and new ways to treat each other. And literally we write an agreement and we both sign it. And if one of us violates that agreement, guess what? It goes back to our dude, say, hey, he violated this or she did that. So it's been helpful in keeping us, able to work together and not kill each other.
We're at your offices with all of these great employees. How do you keep them motivated to continue to come up with new ideas in fashion?
I think the one thing we want is we want everyone to feel like an entrepreneur within their zone. So no one's in a box. No one just has that role. If someone has a good idea, we want to hear it. And I think they see what we're doing on behalf of women. And so it's a really exciting place to work, because they know that, as a company and as something that's personal to me, we want to change the equality game for women. And so, they're here as part of that mission.
If someone wanted to get a job at this company, what are the 3 things you look for?
Firm handshake, looking me in the eye.
Still matters.
Huh?
It still matters.
A firm handshake? Oh yeah, I hate the wet or limp, or when they turn your hand over as a sign of domination. Don't like that. Looking me in the eye and just really working hard. I think anyone can be taught anything, but hard work, not everyone can do. And so I think an aggressive, hardworking mentality.
What advice would you give to women who are trying to break the glass ceiling?
So I recently had a woman come up to me and she said, I just don't know what to do. All my, superiors are male and I feel like I'm being discriminated against. And I said, if you don't take a stand and if you don't start making noise, no one will. And I said, I know it's scary and if you might get fired, and guess what? Then you get to sue them. And if we don't start changing behavior, and I made the example of like if Rosa Parks didn't sit in that seat and just was like, okay, I'll go to the back because that's what I was told, you know, we wouldn't have equality for people of color, right? And so I think that make the noise, you know, beat the doors down. Nothing bad can happen to you, you know? And again, like I say, if you get fired, sue their ass.
And you have a podcast called Superwoman with Rebecca Minkoff.
Yes.
How do you define what a superwoman is? What are the qualities?
I think, you know, every person today or every woman is a superwoman. I think we are of diverse nature. We have many different parts to ourselves: sisters, mothers, daughters, workers, gym goers, yogis. And I think it's a woman who celebrates all the sides of herself and helps herself overcome challenges and isn't a victim to the way things are, and really takes, you know, matters into her own hands.
And starting this brand, it's taken a lot of work. There's been a lot of big challenges. What was one of the bigger challenges you faced, and how did you overcome it?
We've had a lot of challenges, and I think that whether it's social media or a good PR person, everything looks perfect all the time. But every day there's a new challenge, you know, whether it's, you know, years and years ago when we couldn't get a loan from a bank or we couldn't get an office lease, to, you know, at times being shipped the wrong product or a faulty product. So I think stuff happened yesterday. So I think it's just like, as a business owner and as an entrepreneur, you will get faced with challenges that are potentially crippling every single week, and that's just part of doing business.
And do you have a support network that you go to, or advisors that help you get through those tough times?
So I think between my brother and I, and then our legal counsel, who's been with us for 4 years, I think the three of us really sort of get into a huddle when these things happen, and, you know, really go through like solutions, like what could we do, how could we work this out, you know. And I think whenever someone is in that kind of trouble, to sort of just find your people, you know, whether they work with you or not. We don't want to make these issues that we have sometimes our employees' problems. So it's really about making sure you're actually talking to someone that can help you. Like, I don't talk to my husband about this stuff because he can't help me with these particular problems, right? So find that person who has enough knowledge of what you're doing to help you.
How do you keep the brand fresh and relevant as things constantly change and fashion goes in and out?
I think you have to be on the pulse. I think with social media, things are changing very, very quickly. And every day there's a new trend, it feels like, so you have to really be nimble and quick. And I think we've prided ourselves we have prided ourselves on the fact that, you know, we want to think small, like a small company, because small companies can be nimble and quick. And you see these bigger corporations that are like, well, we designed the product a year ago and we can't change it. So to really make sure that, you know, we can move.
And how has building this big brand affected you personally? How do you feel working with all these different people and having such influence?
So I'm a very down-to-earth person, so I forget that it's mine sometimes. I forget that it's real sometimes, but I'm very proud. You know, it's taken a lot of hard work to get here, and a lot of sacrifice. So to have built something this successful feels good when I remember that I'm not thinking about anything else.
And what's your best piece of career advice?
I think your best piece of career advice is to lean on your network. There really are 6 degrees of separation between you and the person you want to get to. And to make those asks, don't be afraid of no. I get told no all the time. And I think it's just having the courage to put yourself out there again.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.